so this will populate it over in my preview screen. Or did I just... Yeah, I just went full live just now. Oh. All right, then. So we're live a little early. Yeah. Well, we'll just hang out for a little bit, and then we'll actually...
So everyone who happens to be watching right now, you're getting the super secret special recording.
This is the super secret interview that was totally meant to happen at this time, and we're not
totally meant to happen.
Yeah, we're not early. We're
not early.
So
we're not early. Everyone else is late.
So if anybody has a pre-interview question that they'd like to ask, all the Mark that's here, feel free to ask.
Yeah. So Jason, tell me, how long have you been doing this YouTube stuff? You seem to have a very good grasp of it.
Oh, thank you. So this is I think this makes like half a month.
All right. Send me the link on Discord so I can share it out.
So we'll copy the link and then send it to you in Discord. Paste.
Excellent. Thank you.
No problem. Yeah, so people are really going to like this. Oh, crap. There we go. Don't worry, I brought you back. I'm doing a script.
You got rid of me and then you bring me back?
So I'm doing a window capture of your video over the Discord.
I want to see what the heck you're trying to do, because you don't seem like you know what you're doing.
You're killing me, Mark.
I can't see me. I can't see me. Where'd I go?
Can you not anymore?
Oh man, Jason.
Oh crap! Now you're gonna go away again.
I'm gonna go away again. Oh, there I am. Right. There's my beautiful face. I guess YouTube.
There's your beautiful face. The only guy we care about today.
The only one.
Oh yeah.
Hey, that almost actually works.
Yeah.
Yeah, it actually works pretty well.
Yeah, it works pretty well.
As long as I don't touch anything. I cannot touch anything.
So yeah. So how do you feel about the Drukhari Codex? Do you think
I think it's really strong. I think it's really strong. I think it is very optimized. That's one way to put it.
Yeah. I mean I agree. I do think it's mostly optimized against what the meta is right now, for the most part.
And that is true. And so it's really hard for other armies, because a lot of other armies haven't gotten their codexes yet to fight properly against Drukhari and be able to fight against everything else.
Right.
Because like if you build your list only to fight Drukhari, well, you're still gonna have a tough time if you're like Marines or something like that. Because even Marines, like almost everyone at the Dallas Open is like, I'm checking my list to beat Dark Eldar. I'm checking my list to beat Dark Eldar. I'm checking my list to beat Dark Eldar. There's only so much checking you can do, and then you just can't beat them.
Well, then you end up running up against Knights or, Custodes, and well, now you have a problem, because you're not built to kill them. You're built to kill
Dark Eldar.
But I think, I really like what they're doing with 9th edition, where it feels like all the codex that have come out can compete. I think Necrons might actually be the weakest one that's come out so far, but I think that'll change as we get different armies rolling up to the top. Just because of the restrictions on how they build their list.
Yeah.
So. But do you know what? It's close enough to 9.
It's close
enough to 9. It's close enough for government work.
Close enough for government.
So let's just go ahead and get started. So the first question that I'd like to ask is, A, how long you've been playing? And B, what got you into it in the first place?
So I've been playing. I started playing 40K in 7th edition when Skatari came out. They're my first army. So I've kind of always wanted to play 40K. I mean, like tabletop war games like it. So
Right.
basically, what happened is, like when I was building like Legos, I almost wanted to build like a game, like 40K. Like I would
Right.
use like they had little circle bases for all for like little Legos, and I would use those as like bases for my little Lego guys, and basically, so I was basically playing 40K with Legos. I built like tanks and everything like that. I give my guys little special custom weapons and things. It was fun. But I was working at a game store, and I was doing like the X-wing game and I was really big into that. And there was a bunch of other 40K games who guys would come in and play that. So what I ended up doing is I sold my Magic the Gathering collection to the store for store credit, and basically ended up buying like getting started on playing 40K.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember. So there was a game. I think it was called Heroescape.
Yeah,
Where
Heroes game. I played that too.
where like all the tiles like click together and you could build. Like
Yeah, that was fun.
yeah, and I think that was my gateway. I think that was my gateway to 40K. Um, so the next question is, what armies do you play?
I play mostly Imperium. I play Admech, of course. I also get around to playing Space Marines. I play Guard sometimes. I'll just mix in like a bunch of other stuff together. So I've mixed. So I play like Guard, Imperium, Imperial Soup. Because like if one army isn't good, like maybe I'll just ally on something else.
Yeah.
So I've got lots of Imperium models. Don't have any sisters or Custodes.
Okay. Well, that's a perfect segue into one of the things I wanted to mention at some point. So the Wet Wild and Warped Channel is actually going to be doing a giveaway at some point, to be determined date.
Ooh.
But it looks like the very first models that we may do are the Valerian and Alea models.
Cool.
They'll be real nice painted and ready to play. And those were supplied to us from Born to Game, which is up in I think it's like Dumfries. So
All right.
we're looking forward to that. We'll have some videos coming out about that. So just catch that if you have time. So let's see. Oh, what do you expect from the new AdMech Codex? Because they said that should be coming here soon, right?
Yeah. We should probably wait until 9. Wait a little bit longer until we actually get some people watching.
Till we get into that.
Yeah, we can jump into that because like
Okay.
there's currently nobody watching right now.
Yeah, I know.
At least not that I can see.
Yeah. So we got. It looks like we have 3 right now. Well.
Do we have 3 right now?
Yeah.
Let's keep going. We'll entertain this one person because I'm one of these people because I'm watching on my other stream.
Right.
So you were asking about what I'm expecting from the Anime Codex.
Yeah.
I'm expecting it to be super optimized, really good, and amazingly good. Now, there's a certain reasons that I know that it's going to be really good. The biggest thing is that GW doesn't know how good AdMech is, and another thing is the Drukhari Codex.
Yeah.
If they did that to Drukhari, they're already increasing the amount of shots I get on my gun.
See, I'm
the autocannon chickens are going from heavy 4 to assault 6.
Yeah, I'm hoping
They're
that
probably going to be about the same points.
I'm hoping that the reason they're giving you more shots is because you're losing exploding 6s.
I'm losing exploding 6
Yeah.
because I don't think I'm keeping that from that. But like, if I'm just guaranteed, like, all right, cool, I'm just guaranteed 6 shots versus like, maybe if I roll 6 and get an exploding 6, I'll take the 2 extra autocannon shots. I'll take those. I'll take those assault 6 chickens.
So
with autocannons.
So when you were heading down to Dallas, what was your expectation? Because you did 8 games, right?
Yeah.
What was the expectation, at least in your head, for what your record was going to look like coming out of 8 games?
I wanted to go 7-1. I wanted to win. I wanted to win or go 7-1. I really wanted to win. I didn't want to go 7-1. I wanted to just win the entire thing.
See, man, I can't go into a tournament with an expectation like that. I
know what my list does, and my list did what it was supposed to do. So I kind of went in there and knowing it's just like, this is what I have, this is what I'm doing, and I've got a good chance of winning this thing.
Yeah. So since we're still waiting until 9, why don't we talk about round 1?
Round one.
Round
Oh,
one,
man.
which is one of your lower scoring games in this tournament, if I don't remember correctly.
Oh, you can remember correctly. Yeah, that was a very disappointing game for me because I was playing a Blood Angels player. He's a newer player, and I didn't have him on the chess clock.
No.
Guess who took the most time? He took the most time deciding what he was going to do in all of his turns. And guess how many rounds we got to?
Uh, well, so the final score of that game was 59 to 53. If I give both you guys the painted score for 10, that means you guys only scored 49. So I would say half the game?
Yeah, we only got to bottom of turn 3. He had he had like 5 models left on the table. I had like my entire army.
Didn't talk it out?
He didn't talk it out. He was like, all right, let's side it up. Because at Dallas Open, it was 2.5 hours, and they were just like, all right, dice down. Everybody dice down. That's snapping.
Well,
like everybody dice down, and this is like, all right, cool. My phone was like, all right, let's just count it up. It was just like, come on, man, I'm about to table you in here. Yeah. Oh man, you see, I told you I can't touch anything.
It's all right. It was as you said, dice down, so it was just for emphasis.
For emphasis, absolutely.
Right. For emphasis.
Yeah, but it was like they called dice down. And it was just like he didn't want to talk it out. It was like, all right, let's add it up. Because I think in his head he was winning, or at least had a good chance of like winning. I knew I was ahead already.
Right.
But it's like he didn't want to talk it out at all. I was just like, all right.
So
I scored 59 points. I would have gotten like 97 points if I went through 5 rounds.
So I know a lot of guys, especially on turn 5, like if they have time, they add up their score and go, what do I need to win? Yeah. Are you kind of doing that throughout the game, or?
I wish I did that. Okay. I do not do that. So what I do is I get like a general feel of how the game is going. I do keep track of my score, but I don't add up like how many points each player has at any point in the game until towards the end. Okay. So if that is a good thing to do as a player, I don't do it. I should do it, but I don't do it.
Because I know you have one of those like Etch-a-Sketch boards, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I've seen you carrying that around, and it seems like it would be really handy.
Don't give away my secret. Oh man, I got a message. Message me, people.
All right, you heard it here. Mark's secret is his Etch-a-Sketch board. So
indeed, you heard it here first. Let's see my beautiful face. There's my beautiful.
It's beautiful. All right, so that was round 1. Round 2, you pulled Gene Stealer Colt.
Yep.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I haven't really seen a Gene Stealer Colt list. Kind of
never.
Oh yeah, in a little bit. It's kind of been half an edition.
I also have not played a Gene Stealer Colt army in a while. So it also was like, all right, cool. You're gonna have to remind me what half of your stuff does, and it's just like, all right. So you do this, you do that, you do this. I kind of remember what most of the Gene Stealer Colt does. It like does the blips and all that.
Yep.
So he was a good guy. He was a good player. Did play him on the clock. Didn't need the clock on that game, but yeah, I went first, and it was not a good game for him. Yeah. Because I was just like, all right, cool. That's dead. That's dead. That's dead. And now this is dead.
Well, they suffer from the same thing that Drukhari does a little bit, especially early on in the game, where they have that low toughness and not great saves.
Not that great amount of saves.
No. So you just end up kind of picking up models if you can be seen.
Well, he was also running. His list was a whole bunch of the buggies.
Oh,
the ones with the last cannon on them.
Yep. Correct me if I'm wrong, but
like three of them.
Can't those come back?
If they can, he didn't.
Okay.
I don't think they can. They're like 8 wounds.
Yeah, I may be thinking about something else.
Yeah, I don't think those come back.
Okay. All right, so yeah, I mean, you know what? I miss Gene Stealer Colt. I do. They were a interesting army to play against. So yeah. Let's see what's next. Space Wolves was next.
Yep. That game was. So I played against on TTS. I played against some really good players who have some really good Space Wolf lists.
Yeah.
this was this is a space was it's not super optimized to be like able to shoot and do melee,
Right.
but it was like a bunch of like it's really hard for him to get into combat turn one unless your opponent already moves up.
Okay.
I went first. I think I went first in like almost every single one of my games except for maybe my first game. I
Okay.
went first in every other game. But like I went first, I moved up, I screened them out. So basically, because it's Digi's 8
Right.
and my ponies, I was able, even if I didn't go first, I completely screened out his Melta drop pod
Right.
from being able to shoot any of my disintegrators turn
Right.
one.
Anything of value, at least.
Yes.
Okay.
And basically, like I scouted up almost all my stuff, got myself in a good position for turn two, and by turn two, it was just pretty much decided. He had like very little left. I just charged everything. He was out of CP, couldn't interrupt me. I was like, all right, cool. I'm charging, I'm shooting you, and all right, you're just pretty much dead.
So VT Nick K says, "Good game, Mark."
Good game.
So I don't want to get into your Drukari games yet
All right.
because we're gonna wait till at least 9 o'clock before we get into those.
The suspense is killing me.
It's killing me too. I'm really excited. I want to hear about it as someone who is currently playing Drukari. So let's see. Oh, you have the Maryland Open coming up here soon. How do you expect to do with that?
Well, I expect to do about the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? So, have you looked at any lists
Except
yet?
I expect to do a little bit better because I'm not going to score still low game one.
Okay. Do you expect to see a lot of Drukari at that, or?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think everyone who has Drukari is going to bring Drukari to that.
Well, I do think that a lot of Drukari players have been starved for the opportunity to play their models.
I wouldn't know what you filthy Xenos players do in your spare time. Probably a lot of painting models. It's like, man, I can't wait till this is good again. And now that you have your time in the sun,
I can't wait till
everyone else is bandwagoning.
Yep. I can't wait for the 3 months that this is good.
Oh, you think you're gonna have to be nursed to the ground? Oh.
No, so I saw a post from Reese a little bit ago, where he was essentially saying, guys, chill out a little bit. It's the first month of the Drukari release. We don't need to nerf stuff already. Let the meta adjust.
So I think John Lennon said it best after he won the Dallas Open, where he said, like, I don't like Drukari. I play a lot of other stuff. Maybe I'm putting words in his mouth, but he said basically, like, his other Imperium armies that he mainly plays don't really match up with Drukari.
Right.
And so basically, like, he's just shelving them until he's happy with, like, a list that can actually do well into Drukari.
Right.
So I should tell you a little bit about how good they are.
Yeah. Well, they are the newest decks. And that helps.
It does help.
It does help.
Maybe people will find the magical way to kill them. Maybe we just need to be shown the way. But I think it's gonna be harder for people to play Admech. I think it would be easier for people to just play Drukari.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Admech definitely has the tools. If anybody, Admech has the tools. All right, so let's it's officially 9 o'clock. So
yes, it is.
Let's dig into that round 4 game, the first Drukari matchup that you had at the Dallas Open.
Yep.
And so what happened? So I believe the score was you scored 92 in that game.
Yeah, I think something like that.
And
that game was actually my first game on stream of that event. I think I played on stream more than anyone else at the Dallas Open.
As you
I
should.
Played 3 games on stream. Yeah, but that game was like it was just one of the judges came up to our table and was just like, "All right, you two, you're playing on stream." I was like, "Okay," because we were on like table 4 or 6 or something. Because we weren't the top table then.
Right.
They weren't streaming the top tables immediately. So basically, they just pulled us in and then
just pulling interesting matchups and.
Yeah, I guess they're pulling the interesting matchups because they didn't have Drukari on the stream yet,
Okay.
and they didn't have Admech on the stream yet, so they wanted to get something interesting.
And then you just stayed there.
And then, well, I left after that game day 2 I came back.
All right, and that next
But
game
day
was
3 I came
against
back.
Anthony Vanala. Am I saying that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And he ended up in the top 5.
No, he was a good player. He played that really well.
Yeah.
Basically, like I went first again. I went first in almost every one of my games except for the first one. But like he played really hard. He played really well because like he was basically like clawing his way to get that many points.
Yeah.
He did not give up that game. I'm very impressed with how he played. But like once I went first, then basically it was just like I just gutted his army. I killed almost 1,000 points.
I mean, those games are the games you want, right? Where everybody's kind of fighting for every point.
Yeah.
So, and then you played another top 5 finisher
Yes, I did.
in with Nick. And you want to tell me about Nick's game?
So next game, that was a pretty interesting game. We did the, I think it was, the mission we played was Priority Target, I believe, where you just like have to hold the objective in your deployment zone. And so what happened is he made me the attacker, so
Yep.
I moved the first objective. I moved the objective in his deployment zone out, so basically can't just hide behind the ruin and hold it. And then he moves the other objectives out a little bit. So basically, they're all pretty much in about the same move position on the open and everything. But like, I played that game very aggressively, and I don't think he was expecting me to play very aggressively. So basically, he took raised banners, and I denied him all but 1 point on raised banners. And he only got that at the end of the last turn. He was able to raise 1 banner.
Wow.
All throughout the entire game, I was just like, all right, cool, I'm on this objective, on this objective, on this objective. You can't do the raise banners because like I'm just stopping you from
because you're there.
banners. Yeah, I'm there.
And then you led into a non-pure Drukhari, at least.
A non-pure Drukhari.
Non-pure Drukhari, which means they didn't have power from pain.
Yeah.
And that was Nathan's list.
That was Sean Nathan's list, yes.
Yep. So how'd that go for you?
I went first again. That was very helpful against Sean
Always
Nathan.
beneficial.
Always beneficial. So what I did against Nathan is his list revolved a lot around the Wally Standing Fight on the two night spinners.
Okay.
And basically, so what I did is I put my instead of moving up my transports like I normally do, he placed those guys first, and he kind of hid them behind the wall. But like he didn't hide them completely behind the wall. He put his Ravagers or Raiders. He put his Raiders down in front of the wall, so that they were easier to move forwards. So what I ended up doing is I put my last cannon shooters on 2 flanks, and I just like, I'm gonna push these guys up 9 inches before the game begins. I go first, and it's like, cool. They move up 19 inches, and I get clear line of sight to both your guys.
Yep.
And I pop one of them, turn 1 business. Just like, cool. I'm +1 to hit, or +2 to hit, +1 to wound. Hitting on 2s, you're rolling 1s, and that's gonna be 4 wounds, 4 6 up armor saves, and cool.
Yep.
You die.
Yeah. And it's gone.
Yeah, and then because those are such a big thing for Maiden, that really helped me out because like I was able to deny him 2 of his while you stay in the fight by the end of the game, so he only got 5 points on that, and then I was able to just like deny him points because that was a very good mission for me because there's only 4 objectives, and basically it's just like we were able to like just rumble in the middle. Right. And I was just like, I'm fine with that.
So I don't want to dig into that last game yet. I want to save that for a little bit later. So before we dig into that, let's look at the list that got you to Game 8. Alright?
Yeah.
And let's kind of get into that. So you told me earlier that you've been running this list for a while?
I have.
So how long you been running this list?
I've been running a list, at least this list is not something very similar to this list, since they did the updated changes to Why You Stand Fight.
Okay.
So when they did that errata to Why You Stand Fight, I was already running a list very similar to this, with 3 units of 10 full grad electric priests.
Yep.
But then I changed it to like, alright, cool, I'm just gonna run like 2 units of 8 full grad electric priests and 1 unit of 10 corpus guard electric priests. That way I can still do Why You Stand Fight on the disintegrators, because the disintegrators have always been my always stands, because those things almost never die.
Right. Well, it's tough to get to them.
It's tough to get to them. When you can get to them, they're -1 to be hit. and I usually have cover saved if I'm going second.
So, I've seen this question come up before a couple times. The Inquisitor.
Yeah.
Why is the Inquisitor there? What's it doing?
The Inquisitor does a lot of things for the army. For one thing, she's got 2 smites. She has like a targeted smite and a regular smite. And if she doesn't die like early in the game, like those add up.
Yep.
Like the mortal wound output from those 2 things really is helpful. But what's really useful is she has a forward deploy stratagem, just like a scout marine.
Oh, okay. See, so I guess it's very similar to why people were running Yvrain, right? Just because of the sheer mortal wound output that was there.
Well, the mortal wound output is nice, but like what's really useful and necessary is like if you're playing against like Nurglings and stuff like that, they can like just like keep you locked in your deployment zone turn 1, and I rely on that managed
forward movement
sometimes because I'm very aggressive with my list.
Right.
But like the Inquisitor allows me to basically create a pocket where basically I can put her 9 inches away from my deployment zone, and then like I'm gonna move these things behind her 9 inches up, block her from being shot at.
Yep.
And then still give me 9 inches up the board.
Yeah. That table domination. Just overrun your opponent, and then they can't do anything.
Yeah, just kill them all.
All right, so that moves us into the 2 tech priests that you have, a Dominus and a Manipulus.
Yep.
And I know... Well, it doesn't matter what I know. Tell me what they do.
Alright, well, the Tech Priest Dominus, get this. He gives me reroll 1s to hit in the shooting phase.
Well, that's phenomenal.
It's really good. But what's better is that he also gives me exploding 6s for models within 6 inches of him when they hit, for when they make shooting room attacks.
So that's really good.
That's really good, too.
Yeah. Gives you Daka Daka.
Pretty much. So basically, he ends up being about as effective as Call. If Call's just by himself, because like I'll get like 4 shots, but I'll end up getting like, all right, cool, now I'm rerolling 1s, and that's 2 6s in there. All right, cool, I get 6 hits.
Right.
So basically, in many ways, he's even better than Call because you can get more shots than what you originally put in.
Right.
And Call is like 200 points. Like if you're taking Call, it's like he buffs up your army in like other ways for mechanicals, but he's 200 points of a model that you're not taking other models.
Right. Like
my Tech Priest Dominus, you see, he's 80 points there. Basically, for 10 more points, I've got that Tech Priest Dominus and one of the bombers.
Yep. Which the bombers, which we'll get to, are just phenomenal. I love the bombers. All right. So, your vanguards. So are these just to fill out?
But don't just skip the Tech Priest Manipulus.
No, I asked you about them both at the same time.
All right. Well, I'm
you want to talk about the Manipulus for a little bit?
Very jealous. He also has a very important role. He just gives me extra movement and stuff like that. Okay. His warlord trait is like reroll failed hits in the fight base ceramic infantry units, which also helps on himself because he basically has 2d6 additional attacks at like strength 4, and basically he's just a blender.
Yep. Yeah, I saw that.
I got my little troops.
You got some. You got what? A +2 advance and a +2 move. At one point.
So +1 to move, +1 to advance, +1 to chargers.
3.
So he's very useful. Those bonuses add up.
3 inches comes in big sometimes.
Oh yeah.
All right, so your vanguard.
Yep.
Are they there because they're cheap troops?
They're there because they're cheap troops. They're also there instead of rangers because they can advance and shoot. They put out more shots than Vanguard.
Okay.
Because Vanguard are only like rapid fire 1 with a 30-inch range, and you don't necessarily want them within that range.
Right.
But like the Vanguards, they're like assault 3, 18-inch range. On a 6 to wound, they do 2 damage, so they're very useful.
Yeah. And
they give you -1 toughness for your combat with them.
And as far as just hiding on the table, they're not bad either.
No. Like, I'll often have them like just screen in my backfield. So it's just like, actually, you got deep strikes, and you're not coming in my backfield.
Yeah, I feel like they serve the same. They're my Kabalite warriors. They're there. If I get some shots out of them, that's great. But they're there to do other things.
Yep.
So now I've played against these guys before. I don't like them. I like it when they stay far away from me. But on that note, why don't you tell me what they do?
All right, so we got some Corpuscaria Electro Priests. Those guys are pretty nasty. So they do a lot of shooting. They put out the backup, the
Okay.
jazz hands. They're Assault 3, 12-inch range, no AP, Strength 5. So they got a good strength to them. But they got a new strat in the Second Awakening book, which makes them their guns, their weapons AP2 in the shooting phase. So basically, like, and they get Tesla. So on 6 to hit, they cost 2 additional hits. So they can output a lot of shots.
Yeah.
Now, what's really cool is when you keep them within the range of the Tech Priest Dominus. So every 6 they get is 3 additional hits. Then you're getting like, all right, cool, 1-6, that's 4 hits.
So what is it? 30 shots, 6s explode. So what? You should get 5 6s on average.
30. You should get at least 30 shots.
Right. And
At
then
least 30 hits.
each one of those explode into 2. I mean, most of the time you probably end up with more shots than you started with.
Most of the time you do.
Especially if you're within reroll 1's range. I mean, that's just...
Yeah.
And then you're
I
like...
got my Fulgurite Electric Priest.
Those are your beat
Those
sticks,
guys,
right?
They're my Tusken Raider beat sticks, yeah.
And they're invulnerable goes to what when they kill something?
They get a 3-up invulnerable state after they kill you in the fight phase.
Okay.
But like what's really nasty about them is that they do like D3 damage each, so they put out a lot of hurt. And they do like D3 mortal wounds on 6+ to wound. So if you're doing like if you just get like pretty lucky and cycle 2 6s, that's 2 to 3 mortal wounds. You easily kill like any character that they're in combat with.
And then they also do mortals on the charge, right?
Yeah. So when you make a charge, you pick a unit that's your charge, and then for every guy in the squad, on 6, that's enemy unit 6 mortal wound. So you can get really lucky. Sometimes I'm just going like, all right, well, charge this random unit, 8 dice, 4 mortal wounds. All right, wasn't expecting that, but we'll take that.
Oh no,
The Corpuscaria Electric Priest also do that on the charge too.
Okay. So I'm assuming occasionally, not often, but occasionally you charge something and then it's gone before you even get to fight.
And that sucks because the whole point of them is that you got to kill it in the fight phase, otherwise you don't get the 3-up invulnerable save. If you kill in the charge phase, it's not in the fight phase.
Well, it probably helps you bring down like the what is it?
This and stuff.
The Satans, the Void Dragons. Just that extra damage and that extra phase that.
Yeah, it is very useful.
Yeah, especially for an army that doesn't have a lot of psychic. Those mortals.
Well, that's also what the Inquisitor's for.
Yeah.
There you go.
All right, and then we got what? 4 chickens?
We got 4 chickens. Fuck. Yeah, 2 insta 2. So basically, that way I don't have to worry about like them taking up while I standing fight.
Right.
Because they're pretty easy to kill, but also it lets me just like threaten other flanks. So basically, it's like they're easier to hide, and they just like move around the board.
Yeah. Hold a backline objective because what they have a 36-inch range.
48 the last game.
48, and can they benefit from the plus? What is it? +6?
Plus 6-inch range. Yeah, they can, but like usually, like on most boards, like you're not gonna have full 48-inch range. They're gonna be hidden behind something, or you're just gonna be like up forward.
Well, you know when
they
eventually open ATC back up, you can get your bowling ball board.
That's right.
I'm looking forward to when they open ATC back up.
I am too.
I'm missing it right now. ATC is so fun. For those that haven't been to ATC, it's a blast. You should go.
Everyone gets wasted.
Yep. Find a team. Go to ATC.
Go. Yes.
You're gonna have a blast.
If you're in Europe, go to ATC.
Yes. All right. So then we got our ponies, which we are definitely going to talk about some ponies later today.
Mm-hmm.
So what do they do?
Ponies are fun.
They are fun.
I mainly use them as like as a cheap, just like move up the board, screen people out. They're not necessarily there as like a hammer unit or anything. They're more like a utility unit. They're just there to just go up there. I don't even really use them as 2 characters that much, anyways. But I mainly use them just to like get me engaged in the front, screen out my opponents, and just block off things.
Because I was gonna say I've seen a lot of players use these in blobs of 9 to run up the table and just
too many
pick off a character turn 1.
Yeah, but I was like, all right, cool. I've got 9 ponies. I kill your important character. do you need that important character that much, or do I lose the game now because I've got too many ponies?
Yep. All right. So, and then some of your MVPs, the Disintegrators.
Oh, definitely my MVPs are the Disintegrators.
Yeah. Because they come in at your While We Stand We Fight, scoring you generally 15.
Yep.
And then they also just output a ridiculous amount of damage.
For 150 points, I don't think any other shooting platform does as well as the Disintegrator. Because the Disintegrators, they're survivable, they're artillery, and they're dangerously good in shooting.
Unlike, so I mean the Disintegrator.
It's like a Manicore or Wyvern.
The Disintegrator Ravager is 155, and it doesn't put out anywhere near the damage.
Like it's good at like killing other tanks, but like the point of the Disintegrator is that it's good at killing like almost everything.
Right. All right, and that brings us to that helicopter.
The helicopter has blades. This is much more than a helicopter. This is the Archaeoraptor, whatever.
That these things drive me insane when I see them on the table, because not only, so I look at all my planes, and I'm supposed to be swift and sneaky and fast, and I turn 90 degrees one time.
You do turn 90 degrees one time.
And these things turn 90 degrees not once, but twice.
But not 3 times. That'd be too much.
Not 3 times. That'd be much too much. And then, we have a bomber. Drukhari has a bomber that gets to drop one bomb.
A bomb.
One time. And you're done. Meanwhile, correct me if I'm wrong, these can drop it.
How many points is your Drukhari bomber?
I don't want to. 210.
Is that like 200? 210.
210.
Oh, yeah, 210. Yes. So my plane. How many points is that? It's like what is that? I'm having trouble reading the screen. Is that 130 points?
Oh my God, it's painful. It's so painful. Like it's in here. It's in the soul.
Oh, what else can my plane do? It can also do half your movement or stratagem.
Yeah.
It can also do what? Turn off auras and 6 inches of plane. Let me see. What else can it do?
Where's my Nerf bat?
Yeah, it also
where is it? Where's my Nerf bat?
Oh, it's coming for you, buddy. It's not coming for me.
Man, I don't know.
I'm getting the buff bat.
I don't know if they just made this codex and then forgot it existed, or what.
I think it was just like, we got a void raven bomber. Just do like Mortals Will and Seasons. Just alright, cool, whatever. And then it's just like and then the Admech bomber is just like over here. It's just like, ignore me.
Just stop.
It's like the Ventures Brother episode. It's like, ignore me.
Just don't look over here behind the curtain. And then you got your transports, which, even though I say just transports, they're not really just transports. They serve really large role. They serve a large role in your list, right?
Yep.
Because they give you that.
They transport my guys. They give me movement, and they're tough to kill too because they're 12 wounds, T6, 3 up armor save with cover oftentimes, and then it's just like, alright, cool, you kill one, automatically explode, and then the guys just hop out for 0 CP. Don't have to roll for it.
God, I love that. I wish I had that. So I've been watching your games lately, and I go through one of my games and I maybe lose, I don't know,
like
80 points.
Two guys every time.
Yeah, like 80 points or 100 points in my army just to transport explosions, and every game I've watched you play, and you go, oh, yeah, they're.
By the way, I'm not rolling that die.
Right.
And I'm getting out with the 6 inches
right.
too.
I'm gonna use Desperate Breakout and then use my free strat to not have to roll any dice.
Yeah, I'm behind the wall now, so you can't shoot me at all.
Yep. So that last game, round 8 versus John Lennon, who was also a top 5 finisher. So you ended up.
I think he won. So
yeah.
I think
that's
much more than top 5.
No, that's top 5.
Yeah, top was top 5.
But you ended up playing 4 out of the top 5 players, and then being
Yes.
the top not Drukari list at the
Yep.
tournament.
I also beat 3 of the top 5 players
Yes.
at that tournament. So don't discount me that much.
Oh, not discounted at all. Oh, trust me, I track your name in the tournaments when we're there. I'm like, all right.
Thank you, Jason.
Did he
How
get
many points do I have to score to the Dodge mark?
Yes. Yeah. Did he get that 100-point score?
Yeah.
Can I freely play my game? So turn 1 in this game. You killed some Mandrakes.
I killed some Mandrakes.
You killed a Raider.
I killed a Raider.
You killed some Murgles.
Yes.
And you degraded a Raider.
Yeah. I didn't do too much.
No. And then he turned around and killed a chicken, a plane, and a transport.
Yeah.
After turn 1, what was going through your head? Actually, I have a pregame question.
So basically, I had a strategy pregame.
Okay.
Where basically I was just gonna play back, just like score 10 points every turn, and just like play defensively. But like I never play defensively. I've been playing this list for like 4 months, and I've never played defensively. And then I'll go into a tournament like the last game of a major tournament and try and play defensively. And it's like I kind of half-assed playing defensively. And I end up in the middle of it. I don't play defensively at all, and then it's just like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Perhaps I should have just played offensively from the beginning, just like, and I would have done better. Because like, if I had just done like engageable fronts instead of doing like minimize losses, I could have still done everything else. And it's just like, all right, cool.
So that was actually.
So it was like I should have just played offensively.
Right.
Normally do.
That was actually going to be one of my questions. So when I saw your secondaries as I was watching the stream, and I saw that you took minimized losses, I was going, okay, so is his plan just to make John come all the way across the table and get as much shooting into him as he can before?
That was my plan, and then I didn't do it.
And well, it looked like you did it for 2 turns.
And I should have done it for more.
And it looked like it was going well after 2 turns. And then
he was making a lot of saves, and I guess it didn't seem like I was getting through as much as I should have been getting through. It's like his saves were on point. Like,
they were.
He was making some really good saves. I made like really good saves in all my other games, so I can't really say too much about that. Like in my Naden game, like I was making incredible saves against Sean. But yeah, I guess I was getting a little bit tilted because he was making a little bit more saves than I thought he should have been statistically. But I was like, man, come on, I just want to kill some stuff. I just kind of stopped following my original game plan.
So looking back at the game, would have gone not minimize and taken like EOF?
I just would have done engagement fronts and just like played it like I played against Nick.
Okay.
Basically, just do engagement fronts, get my points there, because like he's got to come over to my side to get engaged on fronts too.
Yep.
And basically, he could have taken like the Eldars, the
Herd the Prey,
Eldar one, the Herd the Prey, and then it's just like, all right, cool. Then I need to be in his opponent's zone anyways for engaged. Which
I was actually kind of surprised that he didn't.
Well, because he knew how I played against Nick, and so he's kind of probably expecting me to play similar to a Nick game against Nick.
Oh, okay. So and then you did not have a great turn 2.
No.
You killed a Raider and some witches, and he was just making saves that turn. Not a lot you could have done about that. But turn 3, his Dark Lances were on point.
Yeah.
Because not only did I think he hit and wounded.
And like round 1, he hit and wounded like every single time too.
Yeah.
So it was just like, and then I didn't make any 6-up armor saves.
Right.
So it was just like that was also what really hurt me too. Because like all my other games, people were missing like, all right, cool, I missed 1 or 2 shots of Dark Lances, and then it's like, all right, cool, that saves I don't have to make. But John made all his wounds, all his hits with like his Dark Lances in round 1. And it's like, oh man, he hit me on 4s, but you hit me every time. It's like, you're not supposed to do that, John. You're supposed to miss me.
Well, so not only did he hit and wound and then it go through, but also the damage that he rolled was almost a 6.
Yeah, he had some
Just
really
every
good
time.
rolls going
Yep.
on. But I mean,
Because
that is what happens. It's a dice game.
it is a dice game, and if it wasn't, it'd probably be less fun.
Yeah, because nobody's just like stodgy old chest. Oh, I move my models over here. Move my models over here.
Oh, they're dead.
Yes,
They're dead.
And they're all dead. Yes.
Yeah, it's those big swings that we look for sometimes. It's like, man, there's no way I can win this game.
And I win.
But yeah, no, I really enjoy moments where it's like, okay. So my next question for you is: you moved, so you brought the Cerberus Raiders around.
Yes, I completely forgot they even existed on the table. Because there was a big wall in front of me, and I never walked over to that side of the table, so I completely forgot they were even alive past turn 1. If they could have been a really big player on the game, because they could have been on that objective over there near John.
And you wouldn't have taken that transport over there.
They would have moved the transport over there. I would have done a lot of other stuff.
Yep.
But I forgot they existed. It is what it is.
And you can't, what is it? Hindsight's 20/20.
Yeah. X-ray vision is also very big.
And then I was disappointed that in the last round on the top table that we didn't get to see turn 5. But that's just me.
It would have been a lot worse for me. I would have been basically just tabled if we went to turn 5. Because I was dead.
Puppy says hi. You can hear it in the background, I'm sure. So, at this point is generally when I go, hey, are there any questions from anybody that's watching? And then if they throw up any questions, I'll go ahead and pass them on to you. There was a question of what do you expect to see out of the new AdMech Codex? Did we cover that?
A little bit, but I can go into it a little bit more. I expect to see GW. I expect GW to buff AdMech a lot because the models are very expensive and GW likes to make money.
They do like to make money.
I think it's also going to be buffed up a lot because GW doesn't know how good AdMech is because people don't play AdMech that much. So basically, it's not like Space Marines where everyone plays Space Marines. So if something's really broken, then it's quickly people find out.
There's a lot of data,
and there's a lot of complaining about it too.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, you take my super optimized AdMech list, and not everyone knows how good it is.
Right.
Not everyone knows that it's really stomping people, and then it's just like, all right, cool. GW doesn't know it's that good, so they're just gonna buff it.
Well, when there's only 12 AdMech players, I joke.
You're generous.
And I don't see a lot of AdMech players running the list you run. I see a lot more of the what are the treaded guys?
The breachers, the Cataphrone breachers or destroyers.
And those things for what they can do as a troop slot. I'm surprised.
They're pretty nasty.
I'm surprised you don't have any. Is there a reason you don't?
Yeah, they're expensive. They got to be supported, and they work better in like a Mars detachment with Call, or with the custom forge rule.
Okay.
They're only BS4.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they're not that reliable unless you like full rerolls, or if you have like the custom forge rule that explode in 5s and 6s.
Right. All right. Well, I think we're coming to an end here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I think we are. I'm not seeing any questions pop up, so.
No one has any questions.
Well, I think you just explained everything so well.
I'm too good at that.
You really are. You just. Joel, let's hang out for a little bit, see if we can't come up with something.
Absolutely, Jason.
Just because I like spending time with you, Mark.
Oh, you make the cogs in my where it should be a heart go pitter pat.
So Larry was wondering if you would consider more than one plane.
No, they can't hold objectives.
No, and that's the only reason.
No, because it's so much of an objective game where like I don't like the more than one plane lists because They just can't hold objectives, and like you go up against a mass like a list that can like get through your planes, and then they can just like get on the build objectives,
Right.
and it's like, all right, cool. I can't screen you out. You're on objectives. I can't score.
Right. And I guess
that's why I love the transports.
Right.
Because they just move up the table, and it's like, all right, cool. I'm on this objective now.
And I guess you have plenty of other ways to kill things.
Yeah.
Plenty of other ways to deal more wounds as well.
I would always run one plane at least if I can, because it's such a good utility unit.
I guess, and cutting the movement of something in half is just...
It's very useful.
So is that on any unit?
Cannot be any unit that does not have fly or is not the tank.
Okay, so not Morty, not any of the knights.
Not Morty, no knights. Yeah.
But other than that, pretty much everything.
Pretty much.
At least target-wise, that you would want.
Yeah, and it doesn't work on Death Guard guys. It'll work on the Poxwalkers, but it doesn't work on the stuff you want to work on.
Right, because they have the what is it? Inexorable advance or something, where their movement can't be affected.
Yep, except by dense terrain.
Yeah, because
reasons.
Yeah. The trees are they're too...
The trees, brother! The trees are too thick!
They're too thick to get through the trees! Well, thank you for coming on.
We are too fat, brother.
Thank you for coming on today. It was a lot of fun sitting here talking 40K with you. I'd love to have you on again, especially if there's some sort of AdMech craziness going on.
There'll be some AdMech craziness going on sometime.
Yeah, maybe when the Codex drops, we can have you on just for a Codex interview.
Certainly.
So I wish you best luck at Maryland Open. What is it? Next weekend?
Next weekend.
And I'll see you there. You'll probably be on stream table again.
All right. Probably.